listened to an interview it was an interview done by Rachel Hollis. Now, let me know if you know who Rachel Hollis is. She is the author of the book called Girl Wash Your Face. And the book has totally skyrocketed, like well over 1 million copies sold. And that's exactly why today's title is 6 Truths Every Woman and Girl should know, okay? It's super powerful. So if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and just make sure that you click the bell so you get notified when I put out new videos every single week. Stay tuned. This video is just, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you a forewarning in advance. I literally just was going through and I was writing out just the things that stood out to me the most that I think so many women fall victim to. And it's the reason why so many people just go on and feel like at the end of their life that they just aren't fulfilled and they have all this regret. And so if you notice that I'm going to be reading from my notes, I just want you to focus more on the message and really letting it sink in and just get into your soul, okay? Because I am going to be reading a lot from my notes. I didn't go through and try to memorize this because again, it's just about the message and I think it's so powerful. So these are the 6 things that stood out to me the most during that Rachel Hollis interview. Now, the first one is where she was talking about she had heard a pastor previously say, don't let someone in the cheap seats have an expensive opinion in your life. Those other people aren't going to have to live with the choices that you make, but you allow them to talk you into doing something that you didn't want to do in the first place. Do you ever, can you recall a time where you've let the opinion of somebody else dictate the choice or the route that you took in your life? Because I, for one, can say that that's happened, when she was talking about, don't let someone who isn't in the ring decide who you are and what you get to be. And this is especially true, for me and how many of you who are online and you're building a business, a lot of the times it's we congratulate, society congratulates people because, they get a new job. But anytime that you hear a mom that goes out and actually starts building a business from home and doing something a little bit outside of the norm, outside of society, they're bashed for it or they're told that they're crazy. And that was the case with me. I went to college for 8 years. I'm 4 classes away from a double master's degree. And I can't tell you how many times that I've been told by the people around me, by family, some of my closest friends, that I'm crazy, that I need to think about getting a real job because what I'm doing should be more of a hobby. You know what I mean? And I just think about, all those times, all those negative ears, that could have persuaded me to quit doing what I was doing. And I don't know, I get kind of emotional even just thinking about it. I didn't even think I was going to get emotional during this, but I just feel like so many women, and especially girls, I've got a 16-year-old stepdaughter and I've got a 5-year-old little girl, and everything that I'm sharing with you today is something that I pray that I can, allow my little girl to grow up and just instill all of these things in her. And I'm kind of curious which one of these is your favorite. If you are getting just an aha moment, drop a bomb below or that little emoji with head exploding, So the second nugget, the second truth bomb is, sometimes having an anti-hero is just as powerful as having a hero. And I hope that you have your pen and paper here. I hope that you're taking notes. But mindset shifts that are so effing powerful, I think they can truly change your life in the direction. And I think that it can allow you to maybe push you to keep going when maybe, there was a time, or maybe you're feeling right now where you kind of want to quit. But I loved where, the second truth, sometimes having an anti-hero is just as powerful as having a hero. And she was even talking about times when she was growing up where she thought that, I don't want to be like this. And I felt like it was just in the face, because all my life growing up, you know, I often kind of laugh and say that my family, my family's so large. My dad, I think, has like 54 first cousins. I mean, I don't know what it is with this family. I did not get the gene, but for some reason people want to multiply like rabbits. I don't know what it is, but I often laugh and say that our family's so big. At one point, we were everywhere from the jailhouse to the White House. And that's true. I had a cousin who works for the Secret Service, and he, you know, worked at the White House. And I also have family members who are literally like in jail for freaking crime and all this other stuff. And it's kind of funny. But, you know, growing up, I can so relate to, there were so many times and points in my life, and seeing all these people who have made like all these just crazy decisions, and all these people who I graduated high school with, and people who were like on freaking drugs and living at home, and like, it's like they don't give a shit. And I just knew that in those situations, I knew that I did not want to be like that. And I knew that I was going to fight like hell to do whatever it had to be done to not live a life like that. Not live a life where it's fight or flight. Not live a life where it's like feast or famine, where one day you're doing great and the next day you're getting your damn electricity shut off. Like, nobody wants to live like that, you know? And so I can definitely, you know, relate to this. And one thing that Lewis House was saying, and again, if you're getting some value, I encourage you to share it out. So third thing, and this is something that she heard from Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let me know if you know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is. I've had the privilege of actually hearing him speak on stage twice now. He's pretty crazy when it comes to like the meditation and how like rewiring your brain and things like that. It's pretty cool. But this is one truth that I could not leave out because I thought it was so powerful. And that is, Dr. Joe Dispenza had said, you know, in an age of this much information, ignorance is a choice. You know, there's so many people out there who talk about how they don't know how to do this or they don't know how to do that. Like, dude, you are living the life right now. Like, this is the age where you can Google anything you want. Like, you just have to have the power and the want to figure it out. And I thought that quote stood by itself as just something that can sometimes like jolt people. In an age of this much information, ignorance is a choice. So another truth, at the very end of all Lewis Howe's podcasts, and I don't really listen to all like his interviews, but there's a few that just kind of grab my attention. But at the end of every one of his interviews that he does, he always asks this same question, you know, if at the end of your life, everything like your books, all the videos that you've done, like all the resources, if all of that were like wiped clean, what are 3 truths that you would want to leave people with? So these last 3 are the 3 truths that Rachel Hollis said that she would want to be remembered by. And the first is that you are in control. Write that down. You are in control, okay? And you choose a good life. You have the choice, like you choose a bad life. You choose what your perception is going to be. If you're unhappy, that's on you. If you don't know how to do something, learn it. If you don't have like the resources, get them, okay? And I love this. Like, you are in control of your life. You have to stop blaming other people. You have to take control, and you have to make shit happen, okay? It is not anybody else's responsibility to make sure that you're happy, to make sure that you have like, you know, this positive mindset, like you are in control. And I absolutely loved it. Like, so often, like we as women, you know, in teaching our girls as they grow up, like we have to teach them to be strong, independent women, to know that we are in control and that we can create the life that we want to create if we just have the balls to go out there and actually do something, right? Fifth thing is, the second truth that she was talking about, which is the 5th truth of this overall thing, right, is she said, write down, I am not special. I am not special. Now, before you go and be like, dude, you just ruined it all right there. Like, what in the hell are you talking about? I'm not special. Yes, I am special. But this is what I want you to understand, okay? I am not special. She said all too often people see, you know, her book called Girl Wash Your Face. But she said, you know, people are going to try to, come, see the success that she's had. She sold over 1 million copies. They're going to go like to her Facebook Lives, and they're going to see that when she goes live, dude, there's not hundreds of people on live with her. There's freaking thousands. She can get upwards of 5,000 people on a single Facebook Live, right? And there's like hundreds of thousands of replay viewers. It's insane, okay? So stick with me here because I have a point. And she said, people are going to see that and they're going to think that there's something special about her, or that, like she's just wired in a different way. And they're going to start comparing themselves to her success and what success that, people see that she has now. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is the book Girl Wash Your Face is actually the first non-fiction, or I don't know. Is it nonfiction? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, it's not her first book. This is like her 5th or 6th book, I want to say. And the first several books, like, they didn't blow up like this. This book just totally blew up. But people just see that, the success that she has right now, and they automatically start wanting to compare yourself. And she said, I want people to know that I am not special, that she just kept working, okay? So don't compare yourself, because what she's been able to create, the success that she's been able to create, it's from a decade of work that got her to where she is today. And she said, and I've said this before, but we all suck at first, right? We all suck. Anytime that we do anything new, we're going to suck at it. When I first did a Facebook Live, I sucked, dude. I was sweating in places, and I want to say I sucked for a long time, okay? I sucked for a long time. But, you can have anything that you want in life, anything that you want, but your ass has to be willing to put in the work and not give up when things get tough. When times get tough, you can't give up. You can't give in. And so I love that she was talking about how, I'm not special, but all the time, especially people that I see that are like entrepreneurs and building that online business, they let like that fear get into their head, or they want to compare their chapter 1 to somebody else who's creating a 7-figure business, who's been in the industry for 15 years, 16 years, 17 years. Like, you can't compare. And there's nothing special about any one of these crazy leaders who you think are just like, totally blown up or an overnight success. They just kept going when everybody else gave up. And the final truth that I think every woman and girl should know is you are allowed to have a dream and a hope for your life, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. I'm going to say that again. Whew, it's like I'm getting fired up today, okay? And I didn't even come up with this crap. I just think it's so good. You are allowed to have a dream and a hope for your life, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. And, she said, you're allowed to want something. As a mom, you're allowed to want something. And for so long, I felt, after I had my little girl, that I lost my identity. Like, let me know if that's you. I felt like I lost myself, and I didn't know who I was. And I just felt down, like I felt like I was missing something. And I love how she said, you're allowed to pursue something because it makes your heart come alive. And it doesn't matter if your mom understands it. It doesn't matter if your spouse understands it. It doesn't matter if your kids understand it. It only matters if it makes you come alive. And God, why am I crying? I'm getting so emotional. Whew, hold on, give me a second. And so she said, don't go through life and ignore that spark inside of you, because you're so worried about somebody else's opinion of you and what somebody else thinks you should be doing with your life. And all year I went back and forth all year thinking about wanting to open up like my own monthly group membership program, which is now the Mom's Marketing Lounge. And all year I've gone back and forth with it. And I would let what somebody said kind of jolt me out of it, and I would put it back on the back burner, and I would just be like, okay, I shouldn't do it, you know what I mean? Or I just had all these negative thoughts, and on and off, literally all year, it's just been tugging at my heart, like to do something, to create a membership program to where, because here's the deal, like all of my videos, I think my videos are great as a standalone. I think that, any video that you watch of mine, you're going to be able to get nuggets, and you're going to be able able to take it away. You're going to be able to apply it in your life, whether it be a mindset shift or something tactical or something like that. I think that, you know, my videos are great as far as just standalone, but there is nothing, I think, more powerful than being able to take on a group of people and really walk them through an entire process of like going through like the step-by-step pieces, because I know how hard it was in the beginning where I was, you know, I had this desire and I had this dream, but I was like, I felt alone because nobody else understood or nobody else around me was doing what I was doing. And so it gets pretty lonely sometimes. And so to have, you know, just to be able, like, it was tough trying to put it all together. And so that's really the entire point of the Moms Marketing Lounge, is to take people on that journey to where they have a plan. Like, you have a marketing plan in place, because I think even when I started learning attraction marketing, you know, when I started going out there and creating content, there were still like so many pieces that I didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand like the foundational piece. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing the foundational piece, because I believe to my core, if somebody lacks the foundational pieces in their business, certain things that they need to know, I think that that is what keeps people from going on to create like a profitable online business. Yeah, if you want to get in and you kind of feel like you are missing some pieces, you've got some ideas, but you feel like you lack the foundation and something's missing and you kind of need that guidance, this is going to be from you, as long as you are coachable, you have a positive mind. Definitely don't want any negative Nancy's in there. But yeah, that's it. So hope you got some benefit. I'm very curious to know in the comments, which one of these do you feel resonated the most with you? Which one do you feel is like the most, one of the most powerful? Again, hope you got some massive value. Feel free to share it out. And with that being said, hope you have the most amazing day. And until next time.